Brendan, good morning to you. You were one of the architects of the Freedom of Information Act. We've been discussing this for a number of days on the programme. It is quite clear that if somebody deletes text messages that have been subject to a Freedom of Information request, that is illegal. But is it also illegal to delete such messages, even if there hasn't been a request, simply because they are subject to the Act?
Well, firstly, I read the headline this morning, and whether Minister Coveney is in breach of any law is not for me to determine. I would ask for my view in relation to the Act as the person who drafted it and brought it through the Oireachtas. And the Act is very clear that there is a responsibility on all public bodies and public persons to maintain records of government business. The Act of 2014 extended that to include electronic devices, including mobile phones, if they relate to official functions. So there must be a record kept. And certainly, if there was a request in for information that any person had on any device, and then that person deleted them, it would, in my judgment, be against the Act. It would be against the Act. The spirit of the Act is very clear, and I tried to make that point yesterday. The whole idea of the Act, if you read the preamble, it's to enable the public to obtain access to the greatest extent possible, consistent with the public interest, to information in the possession of any public body. So that all public business is done in a very transparent way. And we can look behind decisions. Once the decisions are made, we can look behind them and see the build-up of discussions and documentation and generation of policy up to the point of decision-making. That really is important. And it seems to me you can't have a situation where data is deleted in any form, whether it's on a computer or on a mobile phone.
And Brendan, just to get to the nub of it for listeners, is what we're saying is that it isn't just about whether or not a request for freedom of information is there, that there is an onus irrespective on ministers to maintain records of anything that pertains to government or government appointments, irrespective of request, that onus remains even on electronic devices like mobile phones?
Well, there's a potential FOI coming in well after events, so that record can't be destroyed, won't be destroyed within any official document, any official server of a department, and shouldn't be by a minister either. And when the minister leaves office, that should be transferred into a server where it's protected, so that any future FOI can encompass the fullness of all information.
And I understand that you're not going to pass judgment here on Minister Simon Coveney or give, and I understand. But can I ask you, if somebody is found to be in breach of the Freedom of Information Act, having deleted records that should have been maintained, is that position of that person tenable thereafter?
Well, the bottom line is that the law is there, enacted by the Oireachtas for a very clear purpose. And everybody has to comply with the law. And that falls doubly on any office holder. Lawmakers must certainly be compliant with the law that they make.
OK. Look, thank you for speaking to us this morning on Newstalk Breakfast. That is Labour TD there, Brendan Howlin.